Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode 26. We've got a new logo, but it's the same song and dance. My name is Boogie Bentley.
Balls JP.
Our main.
We are at Talkin VAWLS _pod on Facebook and Twitter. Give us a follow. You can also hit us up on patreon.com/Talkin VAWLS _pod. Tons of tiers, rewards, different ways you guys can support us so we can hopefully expand and get out there on a podcast network. But it's good times on Rocky Top, in my opinion. We've all got a little pep in our step tonight, boys. What do you think of the news? Currie's out, Fulmer's in, and I've already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Listening to Fulmer talk about Tennessee football, started out, got chill bumps, and then it turned emotional. And he's our coach. He is our coach. You know, he started when we were all, you guys probably, well, a couple years older than old Boogie here, but it's around that time when you start to really invest in sports. And I just will always have childhood memories of Philip Fulmer being on the sidelines watching Tennessee football. Rock, what'd you think this week or today when you heard that Fulmer was going to take over?
Man, today was a total whirlwind, kind of, because when I went to bed last night, I think at that point we're getting Mike Leach. And I was kind of on board with it at that point. It kind of said, well, this may be all right here. And then wake up this morning, you see that they're supposedly in negotiations. And then, well, I'm in class today, sitting there, and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up. Currie is fired. So it's like, what has happened here? But all of a sudden emotions, your emotions take over a little bit. It's like, well, finally, what in the world's happened to finally get to this point? And then all of a sudden you start getting messages that Fulmer's taking over. And I'm like you guys, I started getting a little fired up about it at that point. Because if anybody knows what it takes to win down there, it's Phil Fulmer. And regardless of how he left when he coached, he's still, the old saying, he's still got the fire in the belly. I already seen he tweeted out, we're going to work like heck.
No, he didn't. He did not.
If it was him, I don't know if it was a parody account or what. But
he's thinking
there was
it.
A work
he's
like heck.
thinking it.
Yeah, and then, I didn't get to watch the press conference live, but I watched it tonight, and he said he was going to go talk to the team, and I guarantee you that team's ready to go whip somebody tonight after hearing him, because he went in there fired up about it. So it gives you a little bit of hope, man, because after this week, I think we was all at the point we didn't see any hope, especially some of the names rumored and just the crap show that went on this week. But today definitely give us hope we probably hadn't had in a long, long time.
Yeah, we're going to get into the week as we go through this podcast, but it was a weird morning for me because it was almost mixed emotions. Like you said, it was last night we go to bed thinking, oh, we're going to wake up, get some news about Leach. And I was excited about that hire, man, because, an offensive mind, and just like you said, some of these names getting thrown around, you kind of depressed about them. And that's a name that excited me. And so then you wake up this morning and you get all this news of Currie's getting pulled off the road and then Currie's getting fired and what's going to happen. And it almost got to a certain point that I was trying to figure out whose side am I on in this mess. They're going to fire Currie and that's going to bury the Leach hire. But then we learn that he's gone rogue and he's using his friend's private jet or plane to fly out to California, and the school doesn't even know where he's at. But once everything is settled and clear, I think the University of Tennessee is definitely in a better position going forward. JP, what did you think going through today? Were you following it all day long, or were you just getting high spots like Rock was?
Yeah, it was only high spots at work. I had a bunch of people asking me about it, and a lot like you guys last night. Was scrolling through the message boards and stuff, and everybody was saying, of course, that we'd visited Leach, Currie had, and thought that there might be a deal there. But then there was a couple of people that was posting that, Currie was out, that, they was going to fire him today. And of course, I'm like, yeah, right. It's some more of them message board rumors that nobody can really believe. And, and then, like y'all said early this morning, it started coming out, and I got a few text messages and so forth like that, and I was like, man, this is really happening. I was like, I cannot believe it, and it was. I mean, I had a big old grin on my face because I'm like, I mean, I was, and I know a lot of people that really know me know how much that I care about Tennessee football and really Tennessee athletics itself. I mean, but certainly football. And I mean, Sunday, I'm not going to lie to you fellas. When it came out that Shiano was going to be the head coach, I mean, I had a tear well up in my eyes. And I know that, there's a lot of things in life that's way more important than that. But it did because, I mean, I was already prepared. I mean, I was ready to go hunt the screwdriver, to take the tag off the front of my truck. I was ready to wipe the sticker off the back of it. I'd already said I was taking everything down that was UT because, you know, the fans, you know, we went through this whole week and I don't listen to the national media, number one, because I don't get to watch a lot of TV and stuff. And then if I come home in the evenings, I'm usually, just on a Tennessee message board or something like that. So I don't even care about the national media. But of course I heard, a bunch of stuff, how they was calling, Tennessee doesn't deserve a coach and they don't deserve a program. Whatever. BS with that. This fan base has been so passionate for Tennessee football forever, but the last 10 years, 15 years, whatever, I mean, the only thing that's been consistent with that football program is the fans. You can spin it any way that you want to, but that's the only thing that's been consistent. And I mean, I was to the point that I was like, man, it's just not worth it because why should I invest and spend my time, or money or whatever in something that honestly I don't feel like that the people in charge down there really gave a crap whether or not that they put a winning product on the field. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I at least have some hope, and I feel like that I have no doubt that Phil Fulmer, we know that it ended bad as far as him being let go as head coach back in 2008 and so forth like that. But like you all said, there's no doubt that Phil Fulmer bleeds orange. He loves Tennessee. Went to school there, played there, coached there. I mean, he has pretty much given his whole life to that university and that football program. And I truly believe that today, with the firing of Currie, which I was shocked that it would happen, knowing how much money that they're going to owe him, unless they can find a reason to say that they fired him with cause. But it just gave me hope, and it just it reinvigorated me to say that at least it appears that there's some competent people down there that understand the importance of this and have finally said enough's enough.
Yeah, that's the thing about Fulmer is, like you said, he bleeds orange. And I said today, talking to somebody about it, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Fulmer may trot out Steele as the head coach, and I'm not going to be happy. But I have no doubt in my mind that when Fulmer hires somebody, he will honestly believe that that is the best person for the job. I have no doubt in my mind. Anything that Phil Fulmer does, I think he's going to do it with Tennessee's best interest at heart. I think that's true. And I just want to touch on you talking about the national media, man. It drives me up the wall. And one of my favorite quotes, and I think it kind of applies here. I'm gonna use it anyway. For those who believe, no explanation is necessary. For those who do not believe, no explanation will do. That's one of my favorite quotes, and I think it does fit in this scenario. I get so sick and tired of Alabama fans and Georgia fans and Florida fans. Facebook is the worst for it. They get on there and they post and they want to act like they know everything that's going on in this search. They know all the ins and outs. And they say, like you talking about with the national media, Tennessee doesn't deserve this. Why do you, first of all, why do you care? Can you name one time when Alabama was before Saban, when they went through that whole run of coaches? Did you ever care? I never cared. All I ever said was Alabama sucks and Fulmer owns them, and that's it. That's all I cared about. I never cared about the search, never cared about the hire, never. Didn't faze me, didn't care, wasn't worried about it, wasn't concerned about it. And also, I'm not one to get on here and post on Facebook about Alabama or Florida because I don't give a rat's ass what Alabama and Florida are doing. So I just get sick and tired of the national media and other fan bases criticizing Tennessee fans or saying this, that, and the other. They jumped all over us over the Schiano deal. Did I get on Twitter and raise a big stink? No, I didn't. But I didn't criticize anybody that did. And you know what? Sunday led to where we are today. Sunday was the start of it. Sunday started. It turned everything around. Whether you think that's right or wrong or indifferent, it turned this damn thing around. Phil Fulmer's in control, and I think we are finally heading in the right direction.
It's basically now what I've said. It's Tennessee versus everyone.
That's the way I like it, baby.
Now.
Us versus the world.
Yep, bring it on. And we've been cracked on. We've been, and don't get me wrong on this. I think some of the Schiano hate went too far. I agree with it. Not in terms of, none of us thought he was a fit. The personal stuff, not knowing, we all said on here last week, we're not touching it because we don't know enough about it. And I think that's what people should have done.
Right.
That's what gave a bad rap in that sense. But, I mean, are you serious? That's what you're wanting to trot out there? And apparently that was their guy from the get-go, and we're being led to believe that we're going after all these guys and stuff. But, yeah, it was a revolt. I mean, that's what it is, PWX, revolt right there.
Zane Riley would be proud, man. That's all I know.
Yeah, revolt, man. But, I mean, that's what it was. And you just can't, after all these years of just sorriness and – we're led to believe things are going to change, and you take it to a whole another level of incompetence right there. I mean, that's what it was. The whole search up to this point has been nothing but incompetence. You try to trot Schiano out and sell that this is what we need right here. No, it wasn't. You're not going to get the fan base excited about a 500 coach. And, yeah, I know he was at Rutgers. I know he had some good years. But then you're going to turn around. I mean, it was just a debacle, man. And any other fan base out there that's laughing or making fun of Tennessee, if you was in the same boat, they would have the exact same reaction. And I'm the same as you. I could care less. Like Florida's been in a coaching search. I don't care. I don't care who they get. I mean, it's time we get somebody in to whip them. Just plain as that. And, again, it's Tennessee versus everyone at this point. National media, they act like they know it all about it. They don't know anything. And this is the one time I've seen the fan base, the local media, all as one on the same page. And I don't think we've ever seen that before.
Well, let's talk about the week leading up to this, man. It was a roller coaster ride. I've probably spent more time on VolQuest this last 2 weeks. I know JP loves coaching searches, and he's been laughing about it and joking about it this whole time. But dang, man, like I'm invested. I've spent so much time following it. But you go through ups and downs, right? Like you talking about Schiano, man, none of us were happy. And I saw an article, and I can't remember who wrote it. I'm sure you guys saw it, talking about Schiano. He basically got caught up in the situation. It was way more than the stuff that went on at Penn State. it was way more than him as a coach. It was years of frustration built up that got unleashed, and he I feel bad for the guy, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him and his family. He got caught up in our drama, but we, the fans, had had enough, and we made a statement. But then from there, we go to Gundy, and I got excited about this one, man. This was one I was on board with. I was excited, but I never really believed, because it felt just like 2012, right? He's using Tennessee for a raise, but then you got little things out there saying, well, he's just coming off a raise. I mean, it was what, less than 6 months ago, and he's frustrated with the AD. He's frustrated with his resources. Hell, if you want good resources, where else you gonna go? Come to Tennessee. We got all the resources you need. But again, I was excited, but I bought in. I shouldn't say I didn't buy in. I just had my doubts. And then it falls through, and you kind of reset, and then I think Braum was next. And I was ready to support him, honestly. I really was. But it's just, you hear these names, and you either get excited or you get frustrated, and then it's ups and downs and ups and downs. JP, what are your thoughts? Were you in on Gundy, Braum, or then we'll save the next one, because I think we'll all be in agreement on that one. But what about Gundy and Braum? Because, there's some rumors out there floating now that guys that may have declined may be in play now. Braum's name keeps getting thrown out now that Fulmer's leading us.
Yeah. As far as Gundy, yeah. I mean, I was in at that point in time. I was thinking that if you get a coach the caliber of Gundy, and you look at, his track record, especially, I think he's won 10 games 4 out of the last 5 years, so forth like that. After what had happened there Sunday and everything like that, I was like, well, sure, let's roll with Gundy for sure. I mean, I thought that would have been an excellent hire if they'd been able to pull it off. I was like you. I never had much hope that was going to happen, because I felt like that he would ultimately stay at Oklahoma State. I mean, that's his alma mater.
We just saw today
coach.
he did pull a raise out of the whole ordeal. They announced that today.
Yeah.
No surprise,
Yeah, so,
really.
Yeah, and same thing he done in 2012 with that. And Braum, yeah, I mean, I know that we talked about him, probably even before maybe even Jones was even fired. We talked about him. I mean, the only thing, his first year up there at Purdue and stuff, and I do think Braum is somebody that we may hear from again. I think that he may be a candidate. Supposedly his buyout drops drastically come Monday. So that's a name I think that Tennessee fans probably want to keep their eye on as far as that goes. But I still go back to that Schiano deal. I mean, I didn't want Schiano. That was just, in my opinion, just an absolute stupid hire.
Especially when everything that's coming out is it was Curry's number one guy. Well, you're also hearing that Haslam told him it was going to be his number one guy. But still, it's almost like it was arrogance, and got our guy. We don't need a search firm. We're going to go get him. It's going to blow your mind. And then that's it. That's
it did
really
blow everybody's mind.
Yeah, it blew my mind for sure.
Supposedly there was somebody claimed that at some point in time he said that they was going to get a big explosive hire. Well, that was about as explosive as you could get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
the chancellor saw that explosion. Whoo, she looked like a deer in headlights in that press conference. She sounded emotional, man. She seemed like she was upset.
Like, man, what in the world did I get myself into? But this whole search, like you all said, I mean, it has been botched from the absolute get-go. I mean, the way that Currie has acted, and up there all all cool and cocky and thought, was real confident, and of course, never shot down any of the groomers that were just absolutely going rampant. And then he takes off, Thanksgiving week and spends 2 days in the Bahamas, at the Atlantis Resort, gambling and going down the water slide and whatnot. That's what
God.
pissed Tennessee off. That's what pissed the fan base off, because for 10 years or whatever, the frustration, through Dooley and Jones and, just finishing up the worst season in program history, not winning a conference game at all. And then you've got your athletic director that finally gets rid of Jones, and he comes out and he's all confident, saying all the right things, and there's not going to be a search firm and so forth like that, and all these groomers are running rampant, all that. It was the absolute perfect storm, but the administration down there was too incompetent to even realize it. And basically what it tells me is that Currie, and whether it was the Haslams or who else was behind this, that they basically said, the fans, you don't matter. That's basically what they said. And I felt like that's what John Currie said Monday in that statement that he sent out. It was basically, I made the right decision in trying to hire Greg Schiano, and you as the fans were wrong in it. And, after I read that statement, I was like, this dude does not stand a chance. And then Wednesday night, at that basketball game, fire Currie chants just rampant throughout the whole arena. And, Barnes, after the game is, down and out because he's like, why isn't the fans here supporting the basketball team? And there's fire or Currie chants throughout the arena and so forth. I said that I'd be shocked if Currie made it through the week. I figured that Tennessee would have hired a coach and then fired him. So,
But that's where I got caught up in the mess, though, because I was the same way. I think we all agree we want Currie out. There's no doubt. But when you start hearing about Leach, but how much do you think of that was BS? Because, again, he's using a friend's plane. The school can't make contact with him. They don't know where he's at, and he flies out to California. You think he was doing that to try to save face? Do you think Leach was ever even on the radar to be a coach at Tennessee? Or do you think that was a ploy by him to try to get sympathy and say, hey, I'm out here trying to get a guy that's going to excite you all? Because it's almost, I don't know. I think Curry's a yes man, and I don't think you can ever really feel sorry for a yes man, especially a guy that's pulling in millions of dollars. You can't really feel sorry for that guy. But at the same time, the rumors, the stuff that his wife has said, and he's just doing what they told him to do. Man, I don't know. I don't think it's Curry. I don't know. I want to say I don't think it's Curry's fault for trying to hire the wrong guy. I just think it's his fault for not having the balls to stand up and hire the guy he wanted to hire.
Well, and who knows? We'll never get the truth out of that, because who knows if Currie will ever come out and say that he was just being told what to do. And dang sure that Jimmy Haslam's not. That he's not going to come out and say that, I told him to do this or whatnot.
Oh yeah, no, we're never getting that.
That's not going to happen. So, John Currie literally became the most hated man in the state of Tennessee in about, probably about 5 minutes on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he didn't do anything at all the remainder of his tenure through this morning
until his last day,
anything.
His last night. He had about an hour where he was a hero, and then he got fired.
Yeah, I don't know even. See, the thing about it is the athletic director is more than just, hiring and firing coaches. They are the ones that, tries to get the fundraising support, all of that. Could you imagine John Currie going out and trying to raise money for that university after this? I mean, honestly.
No.
I mean, every time the guy stepped out in public, I mean, could you imagine if he showed up at Thompson Bowling Arena in next week, if he was still the AD for a basketball game, and they introduced him, or even he got seen? I mean, there's no way. I mean, it was so toxic that's what I said. I said, I don't know what they was going to do. I thought maybe that they might just, keep him on, but take away some of his duties, or I don't know. I mean, I was, and from what we've gathered, it sounds like that they're going to try to fire him with cause, maybe because he wasn't taking orders yesterday per se.
Well,
But there's
could you
going to
not
be.
lump in the Shiano garbage with that too?
Well, I mean, but what did he do wrong there? Because it's been known that Davenport and the president, what's his name,
DiPietro or something, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
what was it? They got an
they all
MOU
knew.
signed, right? But that's what I don't understand, because was it the chancellor or the president that had to sign it, as well as
Chancellor supposedly did not sign it.
right? So how is that valid? I don't understand how it's valid. That's what I don't get. Is people talking about, well, they're going to pay Shiano, they're going to pay Butch, and now they got to pay Currie. That doesn't float with me. Something happened with the Shiano deal. Either one, it's on us, which in turn means it's on Currie, and now we can look at firing with cause, or B, we didn't get all the signatures we need, so Shiano doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything that he can throw at us.
It goes to that supposedly rumor this week's he had Brahm pretty much agreed to a deal and then went to the chancellor and it wasn't signed off on at that point. So, what's Currie out there doing anyway? I mean,
or what's going on back in Knoxville with the game?
It was almost like that they were trying to sabotage him at that point.
There is politics going on in Knoxville that, like JP said about the whole deal, we'll never know the ins and outs of what's going on down there.
No.
There is some serious backstabbing, throat slashing, Game of Thrones style, as Clay Travis said. I don't want to steal his phrasing, but my gosh, when he calls it Game of Thrones, it's perfect going on down there. It is. So, and we'll never know. We'll never know the ins and outs of what's going on. But
no, we'll never know. But I know one thing. And hopefully that this is a turning point. I mean, hopefully, because if people have listened to Talkin VAWLS, especially this year, they know that personally, I feel like that administration down there could give two craps whether or not Tennessee football was relevant or anything at all. All they was worried about was the revenue that they kept on bringing in, because they've got such a passionate fan base. My hope is this is a turning point with that.
Well,
that's what I hope.
You go back to the press conference with the chancellor. I think she finally got it. This week she got it. She realized,
oh yeah,
oh my gosh,
yeah, the fans have
football is what matters. Yeah,
she had no clue. I mean, she up until Sunday, she had no clue, because really think about it, she was her first year was this year, and it was our worst year of football. And we still had 100,000 fans in the stands just about every single week. But I went to 3 games down there this year, and every one of them, the excitement was not there. I mean, it was not there at all. There was issues from the get-go this year, and of course, after that Florida debacle, I was finished with Butch Jones.
Yep.
But with that, and then that, just shellacking by Georgia at home. But the fan base at that point in time, apathy had set in, pretty much given up on the season, all the internal issues and stuff like that. So she didn't really see the real passionate Tennessee until Sunday, when this fan base was like, okay, we finally got a chance. Jones is gone. We're going to go hire us a coach. We've heard all these rumors and all these stories about all this top flight coach, and And, we've already said that money's not going to be an object, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they hire, that comes out that they're going to be hiring Greg Schiano, and this fan base just imploded. I mean, years of frustration just was unleashed. I mean, it was just absolutely unleashed. And at that point in time, I bet that Beverly, whatever her last name is, Davenport, I bet
They
she
just
was
call her
like,
Big Bev,
"Oh
is all I
my
read.
God." Yeah, I bet she was like, "What in the crap did I sign up for?" I bet you there's been many a times this week that she wished that she was back at Cincinnati. I can guarantee you that, because she had no idea what she was getting into. She don't realize how people clung to her liking a tweet that somebody said, "Where's Gruden?" and tagged her in it, and she liked it. She does not realize how many thousands of Tennessee fans took that as a sign. She
Got
does not
screen
realize
got
that.
screen captured immediately and posted on 14 message boards and
Yeah,
retweeted
yeah,
all over the place.
yeah,
Well, let's
yeah.
let's talk about. There was one name mentioned that nobody was excited about. Again, coming off of Gundy, everybody was on a high. Brom, I think, was more of a settle higher. We were kind of hoping for. And then it took a turn for the worse with Dave Doran. Again, we're talking off air how to pronounce this guy's name at NC State, who had a worse record than Butch Jones.
Yeah, I'm like, you've got to be
Yeah.
But
kidding
what
me.
frustrates me is the rumors you hear is that Fulmer is leading the charge on this guy, but then you also hear on the flip side, no, Fulmer went and shut it down. Rock, what are your thoughts? Do you think? Let's talk about where you think. Well, obviously you're not on board with that hire, but where does Fulmer go? Do you think he picks up the phone and he calls T. Martin, or do you think he circles the wagons and, dare I say, he calls John Gruden, or is he going to go back to Brom? I don't know. It feels like we're restarting everything again.
I don't. I'm not even going to mention Gruden anymore. That's not happening. Um, Brom, I haven't heard that one about him going back to him or anything. I was thinking he actually got a raise out of it. Did he not?
No, I don't know.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Are we going to start getting coaches 2 raises within
I
2
may
weeks?
be wrong. I may be wrong on that, but I was thinking maybe he did. But yeah, the Doran one, man, I just had a bad feeling, and I had a bad feeling he was going to take it too. And the thing
Yeah,
about him is, and I've read about it all, that guy was a bad season away from pretty much being canned too, and then you're going to turn to him,
he was. Yeah,
and we
yeah.
dodged a bullet right there. I really think so, because I don't know of anybody that was. There might have been a couple people that thought it would be a good hire, but yeah, we were on the same boat. I mean, again, I don't think that was any better of a hire than Schiano right there, and.
Well, probably worse of a hire,
Yeah,
actually,
probably
as
so.
far as football
Probably
coach.
so.
Yeah,
And just the order they went. I mean, uh, you could,
yeah,
and this for old Wade Adams, you could take a good group of hookers and
He's already
organize
going to be on cloud 9 because we mentioned Zane Riley.
and they could have organized it better than Currie. But I mean, you go from Schiano, which is pretty much worst case. Gundy is a high candidate. Brom, I think people were on board with that. And then you're right back down bottom of the barrel again with Doran. And then you turn around and go back up to Leach. I mean, just the order they went made no sense at all on that. And, I'm reading on there, to tell you how bad that was, NC State people were fired up that he might be leaving. And Tennessee people were fired up because they didn't want him. And, it just goes back, man. It's a proud program. We all know that it hasn't been what it should be. Evidently, the dogs in the background agree with
They
me.
agree.
But we all know this. People try to tell us, yeah, your program hasn't been crap, you're irrelevant, or what. We know that. We wouldn't be on here raising hell if it wasn't. Um, I mean, we know it's not been where it was. We wouldn't be firing
But we
coaches.
also know we I got to say this. We also know what our damn history is, and our damn history is not South Carolina and Vanderbilt and Kentucky. So you can take the last 10 years and shove it up your ass because Tennessee has tradition, and we damn deserve to win. And if you think different, then, well, you can just kiss my ass. Go ahead, Rock.
Well, I mean, I'm tired of people telling me, well, you guys, you're a joke, this and that. Well, yeah, I mean, we just had a 4-8 season. We're perfectly aware of where we're at right now. But like you said, we know where Tennessee football's at. We know what its capabilities are. And you're going out here trying to hire Dave Doran and Greg Schiano and trying to sell that off as a new day in Tennessee football. That's why the revolt happened. Yeah, I keep going back to that, but that's why it happened, because Tennessee fans have had enough. Mike Leach, I think people would have been on board with that because some points would have been put on the board right there. But to, I guess, kind of address I kind of got off task a little bit, but again, Gruden, zero chance right there. I don't know that Brom's a possibility. I've seen one rumor about possibly Steele with T. Martin as offensive coordinator, associate head coach.
Do not want that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it. Here's the thing with Steele. He knows what it takes to win the SEC, and he'll put a staff together capable of it. And with Fulmer,
and he also has a head coaching record of 9-36, which I know he hadn't been a head coach in how many years? It's been a long time, but
early 2000s, wasn't it?
It's hard to sell me on a guy that has 9 wins and 36 losses. I'm telling you right now. I've been arguing with Robert. I know you're listening, buddy, and I love you, but I've been arguing all day long that. That's the problem. Is I'm excited about Fulmer, but I'm afraid he's going to march Kevin Steele out to the podium, and I'm going to lose all hope. But I will say this: no matter who they march to the podium,
you just said earlier that you felt like Fulmer would do what's best for the football program.
And that's where I'm going. If he marches him to the podium, I'm going to buy in, and I'm going to support whoever he chooses, because Fulmer's not a businessman. Fulmer's not. I don't think Fulmer has. Well, he might have an agenda, but I think Fulmer will do what's best for this university. I think if he does hire Kevin Steele and he brings in T. Martin as the offensive coordinator, I think that based on the circumstances and what this hire has been over the last couple of weeks, I think that he will honestly believe that that's the best hire for the University of Tennessee, and I'm on board. I'll be on board, but Kevin Steele's not who I would hire as the head coach.
No.
Not a chance.
I wonder if they go back to Cutcliffe too, possibly. But I can't see him changing his mind because he's pretty comfortable where he's at. But he mentions people being in play maybe wasn't before, and I wonder if that's one of them he's referring to. But I definitely think T's gonna get a call for whether it's head coach or associate head coach or whatever. Right there.
I wouldn't be surprised that Chad Morris is not giving a call. Volquest has been reporting that Chad Morris has already said that he'd bring Dan Brooks and Marion Hobby with him on his staff. I mean, both of those, of course, Hobby played at Tennessee.
Good player, too.
Yeah, in the 80s, and then Brooks coached there, for quite a long time as a defensive line coach. So, to me, that's a name that could possibly that we could come back to as well. Steele, I mean, I take him as a DC for sure. But
yes, I'm on
I
board
just
with
don't
that.
think that you can sell. I think that'd be hard to sell. I mean, to the fan base, I think that there'd be a lot of people who'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute," with that. I mean, I know that Tennessee fans Most of them seem to be excited about Fulmer. Certainly, I think the huge majority of them are excited about it. Of course, it wouldn't. There's some fans. If you sign, um, gosh,
Bill Belichick.
Belichick as your head coach, they would moan and groan about it, and stuff like that. So, but I think Brom and Chad Morris. I think that those, if I had to guess, um, I would say that those two coaches there are who I think that we may end up with.
What do you guys think about Les Miles? I think
Oh,
I'm kind of on board with a Les Miles with bring in T. Martin as an offensive coordinator and give T more time to develop. That's my only problem with T. Martin. The stuff going out at USC, you hear, is he calling plays? Is he not calling plays? Is he just a recruiter? I don't know. Let's bring him back. Bring him back home, and let's give him another couple of years. And I think if you're going to do that, I don't think T. Martin's going to come out here for a Morris or whoever. I think it's got to be a type of deal where you got a Les Miles that's, I'm going to coach for 2-3 years, and then I'm going to hand you the keys, and it's going to be T. Martin's baby. I don't think T. Martin's ready to be a head coach, but I want to give T. Martin a chance. I do.
I'd rather give T. Martin a chance than Dave Dorn.
Yes,
right.
You go ahead and make T. Martin the head coach now if that's the route you're going to go.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what do you guys think of Les Miles? I mean, are you on board with that hire?
Not really. Not really.
You're not?
No, I he reminds me. He's crazy, man. I mean,
He's Mike Leach,
He's
but he's
not
not as cool.
I'm not even talking about eating grass and all that. I'm just talking about
He's legit
man,
crazy. Mike Leach is cool crazy. He's legit crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you, in my opinion, Les Miles was probably the only crazy good coach that was going to take the job under Currie.
Hey, come on, man. Leach was ready to go.
Yeah, Leach.
Guns
Leach
up,
probably
baby.
so.
Guns up. I was all in.
Personally,
on that. I was so excited last night.
well, I mean, with
Personally,
Les, I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, you look at one thing about him is he's not afraid to take risks. And that, I mean, I could get on board with that, but good grief. I don't know. I mean, he had more talent at LSU than Tennessee, and he failed with it. What leads me to believe he's going to come here and do it? And again, it's like anybody.
I say that is,
well, I mean, with
ahead.
anybody that comes in, they're going to have to surround themselves with a top-notch staff. You can't bring a
Right.
bunch of guys, like Butch did this year. You can't do that. Miles, I mean, he's won a national championship. He knows what it takes to win in the conference. So, he'd be better than Dave Doran or Greg Schiano.
I think he's better than Steele.
Yeah, he probably is. And I'm not saying I'm on board with Steele. I'm just saying what I've seen earlier tonight on that. But I don't know. Yeah, Miles may get a call. Yeah, I would definitely. You got to think right there, and that Chavis probably comes back, and I'm not huge on Chavis, but he probably comes back.
Somebody posted the other night. Somebody posted about Chavis, and somebody said, like, "Damn, what I would give for a third down and long these days."
I hadn't seen a third and long in a long time.
Yeah, a third and Chavis would be nice to see again at some point.
Yeah. Right. Personally, if it came down to Miles and Leach, I would go with Miles.
Over
I would.
Leach?
I would.
Oh, no
Yep,
way.
I would.
No way.
Yeah, I would. I would personally, because of his big game experience. Yeah, I know maybe that he didn't win some of them, but I mean he did win the national championship. He's recruited
As
and
a defensive
coached in the SEC.
As a defensive coordinator.
Do what
Who
now?
are you talking about? Oh, no. Les Miles. Sorry. I'm getting
Miles.
sidetracked. I thought you were going on Les Miles again.
He was going Les Miles.
I mean on steel. I thought you were talking about steel. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Well,
I'm trying to read.
I think
I'm trying to read text and respond at the same time.
I think where Miles would be an upgrade over Leach is recruiting, because I don't know how Leach would recruit here. Miles
Yes.
he's proven, and it's been said he's a player's coach. Players love him, playing for him.
And the problem about Leach, guys, is he don't like to run the football. I mean, he does not like to run
Well,
the
but
football.
at the same time, who
And
cares if he's slinging the rock and scoring 60 points? Does it matter? I don't care if you run or throw it as long as you're scoring points. You can't argue.
Score 60.
You can't argue with his offense. He played
He
at
ain't
two of the
gonna score
worst
60
Texas Tech and
against-
Washington State, really? And he's putting up records?
Yeah, and he got shut out against Washington last week. That's what I'm saying. He ain't going. Yeah, we might beat Kentucky and Vanderbilt and all them teams, which would
Man, that's a
obviously
huge
be an improvement
improvement.
from. Well, I understand that, but he's not. I don't think Mike Leach could get you consistently competing for the SEC East. I'm sorry, I just don't think that you can. I think that the SEC, I mean, it's been proven time and time again, if you can't run the football and if you can't stop the run, you ain't going to win. I mean, you ain't going to win. And
We've seen that firsthand.
I just don't see, I know, and I just don't feel like that, you know, I mean, you want to talk about like going just absolute crazy when you got it first and goal at the 1 yard line, and Mike Leach is out there calling plays and you're going 5 wide.
Oh, it's
you
good.
know.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But
Yeah,
and I'm not arguing
you know,
with you.
I
Heck,
mean,
I'm
I'm
on
going to
board.
lose my ever living mind at that point.
I'm on board with Les Miles. I don't know why I'm arguing with you. I just like the name Mike Leach. But with Les Miles, I think, like I said, I think if you're going to bring Teague, then bring a guy like Les Miles as the head coach and let him learn and give him more time to develop. That's all I'm saying.
mean,
it's a possibility that happens.
At least with Les Miles, we would actually have a fullback on the roster.
Well, I saw somebody,
that's a given.
somebody on VolQuest said, now that Fulmer's in charge, will anybody get an interview that doesn't play a fullback?
Well, that's the truth.
Well, I'm serious. But, you know, I mean, I'm tired of this Mickey Mouse infallible offense.
That infallible
crap.
offense is gone. Mike Leach's offense is not infallible. It's record-breaking, whether you like it or not.
Well, he'd have to prove it to me in the SEC. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, because Washington State was just loaded with talent when he went there.
I'm not downing that. I'm not downing that at all. But you know, it's a whole different ballgame in the SEC.
I agree.
I mean, you know, we just saw it Saturday. You know, the Iron Bowl. Auburn's defense just absolutely dominated Bama. I mean, they absolutely dominated them. They shut down the running game, you know, and I've said it for ever since Hurts was the quarterback down there at Bama. You shut down Bama's running game, and they are very, very, very beatable if you have any type of offense
Well, they've
at all.
done that to Bama and Georgia, because when they drilled Georgia,
Exactly.
they shut them down. They may do it again tomorrow, too.
Yeah, they may do it. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, and I hope, and I'm not an Auburn fan, but I hope Auburn beats the absolute hell out of Georgia.
I do too. Yeah. I do not want Georgia in the playoffs.
Y'all sound like me. I like it.
Well, I mean, you've got a cocky, mouth-running fan base like Georgia that really they've underachieved for how many years now? They're finally, you know, they were the object of a weak SEC East. They played one good opponent and got drilled this year. Probably go get. I think there's a possibility they get drilled again tomorrow too, and I hope they do. Simple as that.
Well, you guys got anything else to add, or are we going to wrap this thing up and get out of here? Because we're coming back. We're not done. Talkin VAWLS is not done for the year. We'll be back. Maybe if we hire a coach, we'll definitely be back. But if we get some more news and scoop, we'll come back and talk about that too. You guys got anything else you want to add before we wrap up episode number 26?
Well, when do we think a timeline's going to be on? I mean, we hadn't really. Do you think?
Well, I think it kind of it kind of has to. I mean, it needs to be urgent. I think there's no doubt about that. But I mean, today's been a lot for Fulmer. You know, I mean, he acted like, well, it happened so fast, but I think it kind of did. So I think he's got to reset. He met with the team today. Surely to goodness he started making phone calls tonight. This week, something's got to happen this week, right?
Well, all your limitations are kind of off now because maybe some coaches you want to talk to are still coaching this weekend. So your limitations
right, but
off.
That gives you a week. Right, I mean, a week.
I mean, I would think you want to have something done by Monday at the latest.
Oh, wow.
You've got to, man, because that early signing period and stuff is you've already lost a week right here. I mean, you've lost a whole week of just guys who odds are they're not going to be at Tennessee out here recruiting. What can they really sell right now? You've got to get somebody in as soon as possible since you've already lost a week on it.
Rumor is that Fulmer's at the taco joint tonight, talking to Cade Mays and his daddy.
Let's hope he is.
Good. That's the first step.
He's got that look in his eye, fellas.
That's
He's working like that.
He's got the fire in his eyes for
guarantee
sure.
that football team come out. They was ready to go take the field tonight after Fulmer got in there because I guarantee you he had that look in his eye tonight.
Man, somebody posted the YouTube video that's got the Fulmer pregame Oh, dude, I was ready to run through a damn wall. I can tell you right now, Fulmer walked in my living room and said, "Boogie, let me tell you something. We need $10,000, and we can make it happen." I'd say, "Coach, I'll be at the bank on Monday morning refinancing my house. We'll make it happen." That's the kind of coach he gives you those speeches that gives you chill bumps. And I agree. I guarantee you that team left that meeting with the fire in their eyes.
I was worried that you was getting ready to say, "Coach, I'll go hold up the local bank and be right back."
Hey, calm down. I'm not a criminal.
Well, hopefully he is out. I did see where he said he was going to be contacting some recruits. So, I mean, Mays has got to be because from what I've seen, he don't even have UT in the top 3 right now.
No, he don't.
I thought he eliminated them completely until all
but
this news broke. That's what he said, right?
I would say Fulmer.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'd say old Fulmer is, I mean, I don't know what Mays will ultimately do, but I guarantee you, if Fulmer's been in contact with him, knowing that his dad played for Fulmer and everything, I can imagine that they're like, at least at this point in time, that are definitely going to listen to him. Now, whether or not, anything happens, we'll see. I had heard one of the VolQuest mods claim that they felt like the only coach that had been mentioned that would have a chance with Cade was Les Miles.
I haven't seen that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that was Austin Price mentioned that. And he's pretty close to the Mays family.
Well, he may get a look down there. It's definitely possible, I think.
If he does, and I know I've said it already, but get T, and give him a assistant head coach, associate head coach, whatever you call it, head coach in waiting. I think that would be a good step. What
about a Miles head coach, T OC, and Steele as DC?
I'm down. I'm ready to roll with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Chavis. So,
Chavis back.
He left LSU though, didn't he? Before,
yeah.
He was at Texas A&M, right?
But he's unemployed.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying I want him back, but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody down there brought him back, whether it was Les as head coach, if it happened to be Steele or T. Martin, either the 3, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Chavis come back. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jay Graham back either. I mean, with Jimbo going to Texas A&M, you may see him.
I'd rather keep Gillespie.
Well, yeah, I'd be fine with that too. But who knows if Gillespie may up and go somewhere else too.
Yeah, I mean, He definitely can.
I hope not.
Well, I would say if it was Mike Leach, he would. Because he'd be like, man, I ain't going to have a running back to even.
Yeah, but what in the world would Mike Leach do with Kelly and Chandler in the backfield? Surely to goodness he'd find a way to work him into that offense.
Why they'd stand over on the sidelines while he went
there
five
is
wide.
no way. He'd find a way to work him in. Surely to God. He's the pirate, man. He'd find a way.
Yeah. Yeah. He'd show up to the games with the Vol Navy and a pirate
That'd
ship.
be so awesome, man. Like I told somebody last night, I said, damn it, he may not win games, but we're in for a good time if he's the head coach of Tennessee.
We thought he was coming. The wife and I was sitting there this morning at 6:30 watching Mike Leach quotes, laughing about it, preparing that we knew he was going to be the coach. I mean, just hee-hawing, laughing at some of this stuff. I mean, it's like it reminds me of me teaching these middle school kids. You've always got one that thinks they can get you off task or something. There's always that one reporter that gets Leach off task during his press conferences, and I seen one where somebody asked him about Bigfoot, and he starts going on about, well, we found dinosaur bones, but we hadn't found Bigfoot bones yet. And I mean, it's just.
I was watching a bunch of those last night. Tons of Mike Leach press conferences last night. That dude's a jewel, man. He's one of a kind.
Hilarious. He is hilarious.
I'm sure you guys saw the one about the wedding where he went on and on and on.
And I was sitting there thinking, man, that's me. You know, like everything he was saying.
It's so true. He's like such a genius, man. Like, he's a genius.
I was like, man, I've said stuff like that before.
Yeah. No, but I mean, Miles, if he was down there, he's not on Leach level, but he's kind of a whack job too, in respect. I mean, you don't see Leach picking up a pile of grass and eating it or anything. The possibilities are endless right now.
Oh,
sure.
Gosh. Well, that's it. We're about to hit the hour mark. We're going to wrap this thing up. I'm not even going to give you guys a chance to drop any parting words. I'm just going to say we are at Talkin VAWLS _pod on Facebook and Twitter. Give us a follow. Let us know what you think. What direction is Fulmer going to go? Are you on board with Fulmer? Also, check us out, patreon.com/Talkin VAWLS _pod. There's several different reward tiers. You can join our private Facebook group. Jump in, chat with us about Fulmer, the coaching search, anything and everything. And there's also a way you can ask us questions. There's a way you can jump on and host a segment with us. So check it out. Again, we're trying to grow this thing. We're trying to expand it. We want to eventually be a full-blown podcast, not just be on YouTube. We want to be on iTunes and Stitcher and wherever you find your podcast needs. But that's going to wrap it up. For Vols JP and R Main, I am Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Jack Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move along on without him.